Hello. Today we're going to talk about old Hollywood versus new Hollywood. Hollywood has come a long way from the golden age of glamorous stars and studio control to today's billion-dollar franchises and streaming wars. But what's really changed? And is it for better or worse? Let's dive into the fascinating evolution of Hollywood. Let's start with the old Hollywood, also known as the Golden Age of Hollywood. This era, roughly from the 1920s to the 1960s, was defined by the studio system. Studios like MGM, Paramount, and Warner Bros. Controlled everything: actors, directors, and even theaters. Stars were under strict contracts, and their public images were carefully curated by the studios. Movies were all about spectacle and storytelling. Genres like musical, westerns, and romantic dramas dominated the box office. And let's not forget the glamour: red carpets, iconic fashion, and large-than-life stars who felt untouchable. Fun fact, in the 1940s, MGM claimed to have more stars than there are in heavens, and they were not kidding. But the studio system couldn't last forever. In 1948, the Paramount decree forced studios to give up their control of theaters, breaking their monopoly. This opened the door for independent filmmakers and gave rise to a new era of creativity. By the 1960s and 70s, the old rules were out, and a new wave of directors like Martin Scorsese, Francis Ford Coppola, and Steven Spielberg were in. This was the birth of the new Hollywood. New Hollywood was all about breaking the mold. Directors had more creative freedom, and films became grittier, more experimental, and more reflective of real-world issues. But then came the blockbuster era. In 1975, Jaws became the first true summer blockbuster, followed by Star Wars in 1977. Suddenly, Hollywood realized the power of big-budget, high-concept films that could dominate the box office and sell merch. Fun fact, Star Wars made more money from toys and merchandise than from ticket sales. Fast forward to today, and Hollywood is almost unrecognizable. Streaming platforms like Netflix, Disney Plus, and Amazon Prime have completely changed how we watch movies. Theaters are no longer the only game in town. Franchises and cinematic universes now dominate the industry. Marvel, DC, and Fast and Furious are taking in billions, while smaller original films often struggle to find an audience. The average Marvel movie costs around $200 million to make, while indie films often work with less than $5 million. It's a David versus Goliath situation. So what's better, old Hollywood or new Hollywood? It really depends on what you value. Old Hollywood gives us timeless, classic, and unforgettable stars, but it was also rigid and controlled. New Hollywood offers more creative freedom and diversity, and it's often criticized for being too focused on franchises and profits. What do you think? Is old Hollywood's charm unbeatable, or does new Hollywood's innovation take the crown? Let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more deep dives into the world of film and media. See you in the next video.